good, everybody? How y'all doing today? Excuse me. Y'all, if y'all know who the fuck I am, man, come on. Y'all need to go watch some other videos and see what's going on, man. I'm Mark. All right, so what this video is going to be about is going to be about 9mm versus 40 Smith & Wesson. All right. Now, and before y'all ask, because I know some of y'all are going to be petty there, 9mm Luger, 9x19, 9mm Parabellum, whatever you want to call it. All right. In particular, I'll even use the same brand and same style of ammunition. You know, got my trusty Glock 23 right here. You know, chamber is clear. There it is. So go ahead and take out. This is Hornady Critical Defense 40 Smith & Wesson. Let me see if I'm not the best remembering numbers. 165 grains, runs at about 1,175 feet per second. All right, around there, that's what I'm saying, around. And then it hits at about 506 foot-pounds. All right. Now, so we got a couple of things that we're going to go into about the 40 real quick. You know, something that I was mentioning before when I was doing the Glock 22 and Glock 23 reviews is that it is a higher pressured round. All right. No matter what it is a higher pressured round inside a lower caliber size frame and slide. For example, all right, what I did right here, you would think, oh, he just threw a Glock 22 mag in here. No, sorry, Glock 17 mag. This is, sir, 9mm. Why? Because 40 Smith & Wesson guns are often made in 9mm frames and sizes, all right? So when you hear somebody argue, oh, well, 40 will wear out the gun quicker, yes, 100% it will, 100%. So that is a con. You do have to put that on the con side for 40, right? And what I'm gonna be doing is I'm gonna be running through the pros and cons of each. I'm gonna start with 40, then do 9mm, then I would at the end start saying which I would prefer and why, all right? So with 40, as I mentioned before, all right, it does have some more pressure to it. It will shorten the lifespan of your gun. Yes, yes. However, if you were an average shooter, the chances of you shortening the lifespan of your gun to the point that you're not going to be able to shoot it anymore is probably not going to happen. If it does, that just means that somebody else owned the gun before you and they shot a lot. You know what I mean? Now, something else that 40 has over 9mm. This is a plus, though, all right? Because of the higher pressure, there's a, you know, pro, I guess you would say, not a plus. Because of the higher pressure, it does tend to kick a little harder than 9mm. You guys will see what I mean in a little bit when I go over the velocity of the Hornady Critical Defense 9mm, which I know in the Glock 17 mag, y'all saw some SIG V crowns, but these are what I'm doing the ballistics, not ballistics, velocity, fucking dumbass, why did I say ballistics? This is what I'm doing the velocity off of, you know, same brand, same style, both Hornady Critical Defense, just different calibers, you know? So, as I was saying before, when I go into the velocity of the 9mm, you guys will see what I mean, where the 40 definitely is a higher pressured round. So it definitely has a little bit more kick to it. All right, you know, I don't mean as far as recoil, I mean when it hits somebody, it's, you know, it's gonna kick a tiny bit harder. Now, will I say that how much harder it's gonna hurt somebody, you know, and shooting, not how much harder, but how much more it's gonna hurt someone, right? You know, or how much punch it got to it, right? I'm not sure whether that might be the biggest concern because you got to think about it, 9mm already does a good job. However, all right, having an extra, you know, punch to pack, that is always nice, especially if you feel you need it. You know what I mean? No one is shitting on that. That is a pro that has more of a punch to pack with it. All right. Now, will I say if you get shot in the head with a 9mm or a 40, are you going to know the difference? No, you're going to be dead. You know what I mean? That's just the truth of the matter. All right. However, it definitely does have more pressure, more stopping power. It does overperform 9mm as far as ballistics go. All right. So that is a pro for 40. All right. Now, back to another con. All right, the Glock 23 is the same size as a Glock 19, exact same size. All right. If you've seen Centerfire podcast, you know, you've seen me and Adam sit there and, you know, field strip our guns, right? You know, see us field strip them, and we traded slides and barrels. I don't think it was for the whole episode, but I think we did it just for a little bit to show you guys that, you know, they work that way because they're the same size gun. You know what I mean? It's just the barrel's different. You know, the barrel and the feeding lips on the magazine. That's the only difference in between the two guns. And technically, you can't even say the second one is the difference between the gun, you know, the magazine. So it does have less capacity than 9mm. All right, it does. That is a con. So that's what I was getting at, is that with the Glock 23, you get 13 rounds of 40. All right, that's not bad. 13 plus 1, we'll say 14, right? Hell, even if you get, you know, an extended base plate on here, that's, you know, because it'd be the same one for 9mm and 40. With 9mm, it's plus 2, 40 is plus 1, so that'd only be 15, all right? Now let's take the Glock 19. You start off with 15 already, all right? Plus 1 in the chamber, that's 16. Get an extended base plate for your magazine, that's 18 right there, all right? So I will say 9mm definitely is looking like, you know, it might do better as far as capacity goes. You know what I mean? 40 definitely has a little disadvantage there. However, to a lot of people, not a lot, but to some people, you know, if we're going to sit here and say, you know, if I was going to put a bet on it, I wouldn't bet too much, but I would say maybe like a 50-50 type thing. I'm not sure. All right, maybe a 60-40, you know. But, what are you doing, girl? Get the hell out of here. Always doing showing I was fucking recording a video. Sorry about that, y'all. So, to, you know, maybe 40% of people, right? That extra kick is what really matters to them. That extra punch, you know, matters over those couple rounds. All right? Well, few. I'll say few. Couple is 2. All right? And that's an understandable thing. You know, I'm not going to shit on that. So I will say, if you guys really think that the pro over the capacity is power, if you think that's, you know, okay, 40 definitely, that would be a pro for then, you know, that would outweigh it there. However, the capacity is definitely smaller than 9mm. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You know what I mean? And that's not sitting here shitting on it, that's just a simple matter of fact. However, as I mentioned before, to some people, the extra power makes up for it. All right. Now, another thing is that, let's say a shit hits the fan situation. You're probably going to be able to find some, you know, some 40 Smith & Wesson ammo. You're not going to be able to find anywhere near as much 40 Smith & Wesson ammo as you would 9mm or 9x19, 9mm Parabellum, 9mm Luger, whatever the fuck y'all want to call it. All right. My point is that if shit hits the fan, you would definitely find a lot more 9mm. And that's just because I think it's the most popular handgun caliber in the world, currently at least. You know, that's just a simple matter of fact. So that would definitely be a con for 40. You know. Now let's move on to 9mm. Right. Let's start with the con for 9mm. Yes, it definitely has less stopping power and does not perform as well on ballistics as 40 Smith & Wesson does. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. There's no questions to it. You know what I mean? That's just how it goes. All right. However, all right, it's not that it doesn't have stopping power. All right. I think, you know, if there's anybody who watches my videos or watches the podcast or whatever, you know, who's watching this right now, who's gotten shot with 9mm, let me know. All right. Tell me how in the flying fuck. Did it stop you? Did it stop you? Tell us how it felt. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have any doubt that 9mm would do its job to stop somebody. Now, of course, there are, you know, extra variables you can put into the situation, like, oh yeah, the person's on drugs, you know, shit like that. That would change the situation. That doesn't mean I would want to have a 40, though. I would probably just put some more shots in. However, realistically, you know, either or I wouldn't mind having, you know. But As I said before, the stopping power is, slightly less than 40, all right? And the main reason why is because 40 is a 10 millimeter short. That's just how it works. You know what I mean? Plain and fucking simple. However, the police uses 9 millimeter. Police use 9 millimeter. All right? They use it for good reason. All right? If it's able to stop a lot of criminals with, excuse me, sorry about that, just kicked the table on accident. If it's able to stop a lot of criminals with a couple of shots, sometimes, not all the times, it has to take more, however, it stops them. Not to mention the recoil. You know what? This is another con I have to say about 40. My apologies. The recoil on 40 is definitely snappier than 9 millimeter, for sure. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Especially since they're made in the same size guns, you're going to be expecting, just because of the size of the gun, your brain might be like expecting 9 millimeter recoil, and bam, you got 40, and it's definitely snappier, So that is a pro for 9 millimeter, which is what I was just about to get into. That's what reminded me of it. The recoil on 9 millimeter is less than 40, all right? Now here's why that is a pro, all right? And I'm not saying 40, having a lot of recoil is bad overall, like for, just range situations. I'm saying in like defense situations or shit, it's the fan situations, having a lot of recoil, some people might not be able to manage that. 9 millimeter definitely has less recoil. Now, you still do hear some people bitching about 9 millimeter. I like shooting both of these. It's not really an issue, but people who bitch about shooting 9 millimeter, they're what you call caliber princesses. All right, they're bitch made. But actually something let me finish what I was saying about the recoil, and then I'll go into the velocity. So, as I was saying, the recoil definitely is less than 40, which is a good thing in the sense that, you're able to get more shots back on target as quick as you can, which will definitely help neutralize a threat for self-defense, home defense, or if a shit hits the fan situation. It'll definitely be helpful to get more shots on target, and be able to get it back on there as quick as possible, no matter what. Now let's go over the velocity real quick. There's a 115 grain bullet with which goes around 1,140 feet per second, and it's running at about 332 foot-pounds. All right, that's why I say around and about. Don't say that. Oh well, it's 331 foot-pounds. Around. All right. Now, plus about 9 millimeter, you get a higher capacity. Here's a perfect example. This is a Taurus G2C magazine right here. This is your standard base mag, right? Your standard shit that comes with it. This is 12 rounds of 9 millimeter. All right. The gun, let me go grab the gun real quick. Give me 1 second, Sorry about that, y'all. Should have grabbed it for the video. That's my fuck up. Alright, so. As y'all can see, alright, the G2C thinner any way possible. The barrel length is shorter. Alright. And the only difference is 1 round. 1 round. That's the only difference in this situation. So I will say 9 millimeter having more capacity definitely is a pro in that situation. That is a huge plus, all right? Now, as I was saying before, with the Glock 17, for example, you can sit here, there's 17 right here, plus 1, that's 18, throw, an extended base plate on the magazine, you got 20 rounds of 9 millimeter. 20 rounds of 9 millimeter could definitely do the fucking job. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You know what I mean? Now, there have been, okay, you know what, let me rephrase. There have been, situations, there are exceptions to the rule, guys. There are always exceptions, there are always crazy situations. However, I think 20 rounds of 9 millimeter should definitely do you fine for concealed carry, home defense. I wouldn't say just 20 rounds for shit hits the fan, because you're going to need a lot more than that. You're going to need a bunch of magazines, you're going to need a lot of shit, all right? Now, let's go for a shit hits the fan situation, right? 9 millimeter, all right, is going to be so much more available. It's going to be crazy, all right? Just the fact that it's going to be more available will definitely make it easier to come by. And I don't mean just like, oh yeah, well you'll be able to, just stumble across some ammo. I mean, maybe, but chances are some form of society is going to start happening, not immediately after shit hits the fan, but not too long after. You know what I mean? Some form of society is going to come, and with that, it's going to come stores, which case, because a lot of 9mm around is going to be really fucking cheap. All right. So no matter what, just how much 9mm is made more than 40 is a huge, huge, huge plus. Because the chances of you really running out, like to where no one in the world has any, slim to none. Absolutely slim to none. You know what I mean? Excuse me. Now, I think we can go down to the final little, the end of the debacle here of the debate, if you will. Which one would I choose, 9mm or 40? All right, let's go with a home defense situation, right? I'll call that one a draw. All right, I'll call that one a tie because I wouldn't mind having, 15 plus 1 of 40 Smith & Wesson, or even if we're going to add the extended base plate. Let's say I'm comparing a Glock 22 to a Glock 17, you know what I mean? So let's say a Glock 22, right? You got 15 in the mag plus 1 in the chamber, throw an extended base plate on the mag, that's 16 plus 1, so you got 17 of 40. Or I can say here, Glock 17, have 20 rounds, with the extended base plate plus 1 in the chamber and the 17 in the mag. I could go with either or. Either or would work for me. I'd be perfectly comfortable with either or. Now, concealed carry, let's move it down to Glock 23 versus Glock 19 because those are the compacts. And I'm only, referencing Glock so much in this situation just because they are compatible with each other. They're the same size. And it's something that a lot of people are already going to get. You know what I mean? So with the Glock 23, throw, you got 13 in the standard mag, throw the extended base plate on there, it's plus 1, that's 14, 1 in the chamber is 15. The 19, you got 15 in the mag, plus 2 base plate, 1 in the chamber, 18. All right. For concealed carry, either or would be fine. All right. I would personally want 9mm in that situation. All right. If I didn't have access to my 9mm carry guns, I would probably, I wouldn't be too upset about carrying a 40. All right. Shit hits the fan, I'm 100% going with 9mm. All right. So home defense, that's not a big issue. That's not really anything that's not a debate for me. It's just, oh yeah, well, I did this yesterday. I might as well do this today. I don't care about that one. You know what I mean? Either or will work just fine for me. There's no complaining at all. It doesn't matter. All right. Concealed carry, I would prefer 9mm. However, if I didn't have access to it, 40 would do fine. All right. Shit, it's a fan. I'm strictly doing 9mm. All right. And I mean, I guess if you want to call me a 9mm guy, you can. I never really labeled myself as any particular type of calibered person. The only type of I guess, guy you could say I, consider myself in the gun community was like an AK guy. I like AKs more than ARs. I just like the platform more. I will be doing a video, not talking about AKs, but just talking about ARs and my thoughts on them as somebody who likes AKs more than ARs. I will be doing that soon as well. All right, however, I did remember I promised y'all to do, that I'd do 9mm versus 40, and I did try to tell you I would try to do that today, or I would try to do it as soon as possible. So here the fuck I am. You know what I mean? So that is, I think that's a simple rundown of it. You know what I mean? Home defense, either or will do you just fine. Concealed carry, I'd prefer 9mm, but 40 will do you just fine as well if you don't, if you don't want to have a 9mm or you don't have access to a 9mm gun currently, Shit hits a fan, I strictly would say 9mm. I strictly would. Now, let's say you have currently a, Glock 22, right? Shit hits a fan, you realize, fuck, I'm out of ammo. Okay, well then, what if I find somebody who had a Glock 17? Oh, no, their frame is fucked up. Okay, I'll just take the slide off, of my Glock 22, take the slide off that Glock 17, throw it on there, and then bam, you got a 9mm gun. Okay, that I can understand. All right. However, other than that, I would definitely say, you know, if shit hits the fan, you should have a 9mm gun going into it as, you know, your main pistol. You know, because your main weapon, no matter what, would be a rifle, but your main pistol, in my opinion, should be a 9mm in that case. All right. But other than that, something I haven't said yet. All right. Y'all been waiting for this. I know y'all have. All right. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share, hit that bell. When you hit that bell, hit all. If you're doing all of that, go ahead and check out the podcast channel, Centerfire Podcast. Go ahead and check out Adam's channel, Gun Nut TV, no spaces. And you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and put both those in the description below, so that way y'all can check it out. It'll be a little bit easier for y'all. Other than that, y'all make sure to stay safe, stay legal, stay dangerous, and have a good night. Peace.